You are now listening to Broken Line Podcast, presented by Fish Addictions TV. Broken Line Podcast is sponsored by Ice Strong Titanium Spring Bobber, Eskimo Ice Fishing Gear, 13 Fishing, Striker Ice, Coles Resort of Bemidji, Minnesota, Aaron Eichhorst Photography.
What did we just say?
Not keeping a beat at all.
So we're doing 14.5, right?
Yes, sir.
And we have Mike Olson from Fish Addictions TV in the
House, studio,
There you go.
dojo.
And we also have two other Fish Addiction staff members in here, awkwardly to the side of the room.
Off camera, that's their best spot.
Yeah, they're gonna jump in. We don't know. They're just gonna jump in at some point.
There's no jumping in here.
Yeah.
I can't even hardly get through here without taking some of this stuff off the wall. I'm sorry.
So Mike Olson, we now have officially done the Broken Line presented by Fish Addictions TV. What does that mean for, well, both of us in a sense? What are you excited? What's the future here hold with this?
Well, how can't you be excited about it? I mean, everybody always asks for more ways to know what's going on, where we're at on the road, what's going on behind the scenes, and what better way to do that than this?
Absolutely. So we're doing, and we just, in another episode, we kind of talked about everything's going to stay the same, but we're also going to be adding behind the scenes to the show, on the road type trips where, me and you are out doing stuff. We're bringing staff members in here so we can get like a glimpse of just everything that Fish Addictions has to offer.
Well, that's right. I mean, why change something that's working? You guys are having fun, and that's what this show is all about. I mean, bring on topics, break that line, like you guys say, and just have fun bringing people in, to other people in the industry. And I think Fish Addictions and the Broken Line working together can bring some pretty cool things to the table that, we just putting our heads together here, basically.
Yeah. And I've been thinking a lot about this, and one of the things that I think is going to be really a lot of fun for us and for viewers of the show or listeners to this podcast or viewers to this podcast is hopefully we get to see like a little bit of the person, that's behind Patrick Olson, Mike Olson, Taylor, Brian, a lot of times you see these guys on TV fishing and that's what you see. That's it. Unless you're friends with them on Facebook or on some sort of social media, you think that, well, that's all they do. And this way, I think it'll kind of bring in a little bit more personality and a little bit more of a personal experience to listeners and viewers.
I think that's something that viewers have missed in Fish Addictions is the behind the scenes stuff. What do we do? What do we do 9 to 5 or sun up to sundown or when we're not filming the show? Because it's people will be surprised. I mean, we're not out there fishing 365 days a year. We wish we were, but that's just not reality.
Studying lake maps and all that kind of stuff. A lot of times we're elbow deep in a bucket full of wings or something.
I think the good thing about this is that you get to take a fishing TV show, which people sit down every Sunday or on YouTube and they get to witness not only our show but other shows. But do they ever get to see that other side to the fishing show or to the fishing aspect? And that's kind of like what this is, right? You bring the fishing, the behind the scenes, the travel. We talk about it, and we've talked about in other podcasts. The one thing I think the fishing industry or hunting industry in some cases miss is people just talking about situations. You have people hiding behind their keyboards, and they're typing this or they're typing that to different people, or they're in person at like the St. Paul Ice Show. But there isn't conversations that people have. We're a community or a society that doesn't really have conversations. Right, I mean, in a sense, does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you guys, the Broken Line fits what Fish Addictions is all about. We appreciate everything our sponsors do for us. We appreciate that everything anybody does for us, but what we're really trying to do is break a mold here, and you guys have done a great job doing that, and it just really makes sense for us to, especially with both of you guys involved with Fish Addictions the way it is, to really jump in, and we can, just as this another avenue to break that mold and get people, you know, geared up for Broken Line and Fish Addictions and get everybody excited about it. I mean, the more ways we can get people excited about what we're doing in the fishing industry and the more ways we can break that mold, I think the more fun we're going to have.
Yeah, this is one additional way to get content out to the people that need content. You know, like everyone wants to hear more tips and tricks and how'd you do that, or where'd you guys go, or I want to hear the story. I want to just feel like I'm there. This is another avenue for us to put content out to those people that are sitting at home or.
And the beauty of it is, you know, you have a 21, 22-minute time slot to try to get our you know, to do our fishing show. Where here we have an hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever to tell more of the story.
We could do a segment called After the Show, right? An episode airs and it's, let's
behind
say,
the
Go
scenes,
Geebic.
things that didn't get aired.
Yeah, Go Geebic.
The days we slept in, the days we,
it was too cold to go.
you know, I mean, maybe we ate Mexican food one day and that was the reason we were late. I don't know.
Absolutely. So it could be another outlet to do, like, after the show, where you do behind the scenes of the show, or we're planning on having, you know, you show different clips that maybe didn't make it in the episode, or we talk about stuff like we do an Eelpout episode, and Patrick's here. He could talk about, you know, that episode and a little bit, like you said, 22 minutes of fishing. Well, you know how many hours we film? That if we wanted to do an episode that was an hour and a half long, we could. This is a good avenue to be able to extend that 22 minutes to get more in depth on stuff that possibly happened in the show, and having you be able to come on and help us, and having different staff members come in that have been on episodes or are going to be on episodes can ultimately give the viewer a different output than just TV or a magazine or etc.
And I think is what this brings also is, I mean, let's be honest, the three of us can't be in all these spots at one time, and whether we're going down to a show 4 or 5 hours away, a nice show early, we can get a perspective from the show. We can get a perspective from wherever we're at, you know, and it just opens up the doors to Pandora's box and for all of us. And who doesn't want to have that avenue where we can sit down and really discuss and get in depth? And I think that's really cool, is we're going to have that chance to talk about all these shows and talk about where we've been and talk about maybe the shows that didn't pan out that nobody's ever going to see. You know, that's what this is all about. We want to talk about our experiences, and maybe we don't get to share all those experiences in a 21-minute episode or half-hour episode, and this is a cool way to do that. I mean, awesome. I'm excited.
Have you watched The Stranger Things on Netflix?
I have not.
Okay, so it's a bunch of kids that multiple shows have this. It's a bunch of kids, and it's a sci-fi show, and they just finished season 2. And then they have another show that just popped up on Netflix a couple days ago called Beyond Stranger Things. And they bring in the actors, and they relive the whole season.
Beyond the Addiction.
Beyond the Addiction. Could be the segment right there, Beyond the Addiction. So I think it's cool to be able to incorporate not only all the guests that we have and the future guests we want to bring in, the mini trips that we're going to try and do, or the mini videos. We've wanted to do some cooking things, random stuff like that. Be able to continue what we're doing, but also add the TV show aspect to it and just deliver something a little bit different. Because if you have another fishing show out there that has a podcast or a video podcast attached to it that gives out bonus material from the show, I want to see it. And I don't think there is.
No.
So I think it's cool to have this as another avenue.
You know, what a lot of people don't understand either is we have a lot of people involved in these episodes every time. I mean, you may see 3, 4, 5 of the guys that are out there fishing, but with our staff of 14 guys, we might have 10 guys out there, you know, and it gives them a chance to maybe explain their experience, and like I said, we're out there filming most of the time for about 3 days to get one episode, which a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people think we're out there for 6-7 hours and we're done, one day done. Man, if that happened every time, that'd be crazy. But that's not reality.
Yeah, we'd have we'd have a whole season done in 17 days. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that doesn't
what
happen.
did we figure last year between ice shows and everything like that? We traveled 85 days away from home last winter.
I think it was
Wow.
originally. I think it was a little bit more than that,
Yeah.
but I didn't peak 100. And if you were on the road, obviously more than me because you had more shows or more, commercials that you had to go to or
But
photo
that's-
shoots and
that's
stuff like
the
that.
insight that people don't really know. And I've said that number before. People are like, "Holy man!" That doesn't mean we were 85 days on the ice, but 85 days ice fishing related. That has to do with the show. Has to do with, I mean, everything Fish Addictions TV, and that's what this avenue brings is just a real look into what's going on.
Yeah.
I think when we first started, one of the things we said is he's got his knowledge and I've got my production knowledge. And when we first started, we're like, oh, we can do, a podcast that's like inside look to the fishing industry with, commercials and the magazines. And I have that aspect. And it's cool to be able to attach the fishing show. But yeah, it's cool to be able to have those stories. Everyone likes to hear stories. And I think this is a pretty cool adventure that we're all about to take this year.
Like most people don't know, the one thing to keep a happy camera guy is to have a cooler full of food at all times.
Yep.
A lot of food.
A lot of food.
Yeah, I sit there and I'm like,
And it can't be healthy cheese and meat and that kind of stuff. It's got to be
you're sitting there,
junk.
I'm sitting there eating breakfast and I'm already thinking,
Yeah,
what are we
eat-
doing
where
for
are we
lunch?
eating at
dinner?
noon? Hey, dude, we're staying on the ice all day, so where are we eating tonight?
Yeah.
So
Any
we
nerds out
always
there?
got to have that planned.
Any nerds out there, he's kind of like a hobbit. He's got to eat every 2 hours.
Hey,
Every 2 hours? I mean,
the food is what keeps
And-
the Energizer Bunny going.
and the other thing you can't have is a warm place for a camera guy to be.
no, you
just
have
can't-
to.
You can't have that.
No.
Because
You
he's
have
just
to.
disengaged from what's going on.
Absolutely.
A lot of
not.
this behavior, I think, stems from this hardcore. We start at 3:05. Okay, it's 3:04. The texts start coming. 3:07. He's angry. You have that 3-minute window.
It's all right. We're just picking
That's
on
why
him a
we
little
throw
bit.
him a Snickers.
Hey,
So
if
chill
you
out.
need,
Camera guys need batteries, food,
cell phone
cell phone.
service. Oh, service.
Service
That's
is a big
deal.
one. Well, when you're catching fish, you don't really care about the service. But when we're not, we've
Gotta
got
do
an
something
hours
else.
of footage of Aaron just sitting with his feet up somewhere on his phone. Like, guys, can you catch a fish? Like he acts like catching the fish is the easiest part of the whole thing.
Can you do that again? Oh, well, I'm trying.
Okay, catch another fish. Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't just
I almost
happen
want to
like
say,
that,
like,
Aaron.
dude, why don't you just get in a different angle?
It's more like, I need 3 more, and then after those 3, another 3 more.
Yeah, he's
Oh, yeah,
never
that-
satisfied.
No, that number never.
That is
never
frustrating.
stays
It's
the same.
always 3. Guys, we need 3 more fish to make that happen. You get 3 fish, 1 good one. He's like, all right, 3 more like that one.
You can never not be satisfied because the more footage, the better.
Yeah, but there comes a point when a guy's, his inside core temperature has now reached 86 degrees. 1 more degree and he's dead. Like, it's cold. Aaron, we'll go to the store. I'll buy a salmon fillet if you want to get the shot. We'll
Yeah.
just add that in there. Here's the last shot, dude. Boom.
My favorite thing is when
warm.
you've got frostbite on your fingers and you're holding that fish and he's like, all right, tilt it this way. No, tilt it that way. No, tilt it this way. And you're like, Aaron, I can't move my fingers.
I don't
And
even
he's
know
just
if I'm
like,
holding
just
a
keep
fish.
tilting it.
Just
Put
And
it
I-
back in the water.
I remember
Don't make me do this.
episode 1, my fingers of last year, Red Lake, my fingers were peeled off the camera. So,
Yeah, that
it's
happened. That's
cold.
true story.
It's cold for everyone.
I'll give it to you.
Especially since I had to leave my camera outside the house
So it didn't
because of
fog up.
fog and humidity reasons. That's I don't know how it is. But season 3
I wonder where
before
we're going to start season 3. I think that's the coolest thing about Fish Addictions TV is right now, sitting here, we have 0 clue where we're going. Episode.
Yeah,
We have
well,
zero
have
clue
you
and
been
we're-
have you been checking out Facebook?
Always.
Upper Red Lake updates every 7 minutes. Oh, I think it gained another 10 yards of frozen ice. Like, calm down, people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
meanwhile, Lower Red Lake, they're searching for 2 bodies of capsizing a boat.
that
Oh,
was
that's sad.
Mondays, right? So that's
Yeah.
there.
Still looking for him, sounds like.
Yeah.
So going into season 3, you're exactly right how you just said. We have a lot of TV shows, right? They film a year in advance and they're good to go for when they get their footage. Well, we don't do that. So we're sitting here we have our first air date, first weekend of January, first Sunday?
I think it's January 6th or 3rd
So,
or something
like
that.
first Sunday in January, and we don't have an episode for that yet. So that's nerve-wracking for me, as well as probably for you.
Yeah.
But that's, I think, a cool thing about it. So going into season 3, we have ice
January
forming right
7th.
now, January 7th. So we have January 7th, 10:30 Fox Sports North, Fox Sports Wisconsin. So we have ice forming on lakes up here in northern Minnesota. What is going through your head when it comes down to planning? Are you calling around, figuring out where ice is? I know Red Lake, like we just said, is getting ice. Season 3, it's coming.
There's a lot of spots that are just known to be early ice spots, but first and foremost, we want to be safe. I mean, we're not going to rush it out there. We're not going to be going out on 4 inches of ice with camera gear and equipment and trying to do a show, because the last thing we want to do is tell people that this is safe to be on. And, you know, when you're doing what we do, there's a lot of people that look at what we're doing and just follow suit. So we don't want to portray the wrong message. You know, we're going to wait till the ice is good and safe to be on first and foremost. Where we're going to be, it really, who knows, man? That's what I love about this show, is the fact that we've got our friends, our family, our staff behind us 100%. And when that phone call gets made, guys, we got 3 days and we're out of here. This is where we're going. People jump at it and we go, and that's the true story. A lot of guys think, no way, you don't plan this out, but I mean, we went on a trip last year at one point where we were expected to be gone 3 days and came back 11 days later.
I will be honest, I have worked with other shows where you have a plan and that plan just never stays as a plan. Like, oh yeah, we're going to be here for 3 days and we're going to go to Missouri for 3 days. It's like, dude, it doesn't work that way. Because you can't control the weather, you can't control the birds or the fish, you can't control nature. So you don't know what's happening. But I know if we're going to drive all the way to Wisconsin, we ain't leaving without a show.
Wisconsin, you want to tell that story, our hotel story?
That's
a behind-the-scene hotel.
What
that
was
was
that?
a planned trip.
What was
we
that
had
hotel
last
called?
year.
Fish Inn or something?
I don't. It was fishy.
So we went to Wisconsin last year in season 2.
And this is what happens when you plan a trip.
Yeah, we planned a trip, right? We called. Do we really want to say? No, I don't know if we should say.
No, we
though.
won't. We won't
Okay,
disclose what it is.
We went to this hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. I don't know what it wasn't a Holiday Inn, obviously.
It
but,
was not a holiday.
and this was a planned trip in Wisconsin. We get there, and we roll up, and we drive through the parking lot, and we just
Rolled right through.
keep driving right through because it was one of them.
We did call and cancel the room. Just we won't disclose
Yeah,
why.
we did cancel the
but
room
we did
because
cancel the room.
Let's just say, when you have as much technology or blah 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 as we have when we're on the trip,
I should have checked reviews.
we want always check the reviews. We want to just have our stuff be safe, and this didn't seem like a safe place. So
Did you guys find like a Bates Motel type deal, like a
Yeah, it was
pretty sketch?
I mean,
I think it was an old car wash transformed into a
I think
hotel.
we got in a car
motel.
accident or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, it wasn't a good thing. We ended up just going to like the La Quinta Inn or something. Like
That's where we went. Yeah,
we
ended up
just went to
staying there.
like we drove another 10 miles. Can you believe that? 10-mile difference between a Bates Motel and
We pull up to this motel, and the first thing Aaron does is get his phone out and start reading reviews. And he just looks at me. He's like, "No." I'm
There's
like,
no
"What do
way.
you mean?" He's like, "We are not
No,
staying."
because here's
here."
the thing. I am willing to pay whatever I have to pay to not stay at a Bates Motel style thing. Because I did it one time with a show with
But
Tyler.
You missed out on some experience.
No, I went to Illinois. Okay,
Oh, never mind. We got thousands of dollars worth of stuff.
I was doing it was an outdoor original show with Tyler. He's one of our editors, and we roll up to this thing, and right when you get to the office, there's a sign on the door that says, "Please call for assistance." They're a mile and a half down the way in another house or something. She comes in with a cigarette just dangling, out of her mouth. She opens it up, and the place just reeks. I look up, security camera's cut. Probably not even a real security camera, but it's cut.
Well, wasn't this motel we were in an old bowling alley or something that we rolled through?
Wow.
True story. We didn't even go in. We probably would have gone in. It would have just been like down the lanes or like bunk beds.
You're sleeping in lane 5.
Yeah, you're in lane 5. Watch out, lane 6 is practicing today. So yeah, so this thing was sketchy. The fire extinguisher was like 7 years out of date. Bullet holes in the side, bugs, bad deal. So always, if you're gonna go stay somewhere, do
Here's
your reviews.
advice. Just drive to the place and find a motel because, I mean, when I looked at it on the internet, I remember seeing this like nice white place, and then
Yeah,
like
I can
just
get
looked at
stock
the
images
pictures
off
on
the internet too.
Yeah. So
Stock images.
from there on out,
Photoshop.
Aaron booked hotel rooms.
Yeah. From there on, we review.
But that's the kind of stuff that we can do here. Now we can tell the funny stories like that, and I think that's what's really cool about us teaming up together, and I think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, you guys are two guys that are obviously big parts of the show, and why not talk about what we love doing?
Absolutely.
And there, honestly,
Super fun.
if we had, you in for another one at some point before the season 3 started, we could do a whole look back on, all of last season and drop some memories. But I think as we go through season 3, we'll just keep content rolling and behind the scenes and conversations that other people, and hopefully I'll videotape some sketchiness like that hotel, and we'll throw it into the video portion and just show you stuff that isn't out there. But one of the things for season 3 is we're doing a video podcast, a video blog type deal for some of the episodes, which will be new this year. Kind of make it more personable, show you more. Instead of it just being like a teaser trailer, there's going to be some talking and, different stuff that you may or may not see in the episode.
And that'll be exclusive to YouTube?
Yes.
It'll be the Facebook, YouTube.
Facebook,
Okay.
YouTube.
Cool.
Yeah,
I mean, the
it won't be
biggest
the
thing
show.
is people want to see what's going on behind the show. How are we getting there, doing that kind of stuff, which we do put in the show, but you only have 21 minutes,
Right.
And like I tell everybody, our show is just a little bit different. Obviously, you guys know, but people that maybe haven't seen our show or haven't watched the show before, what's Fish Addictions about? Fish Addictions is about twisting everything on fishing just a little bit, showing, obviously, we want to learn things. I mean, that's what every fishing show has. We want to learn and educate people. But we want to show people that fishing is more about the camaraderie, about the fun, about, the things that we learned when we were kids, traditions, all that kind of stuff. And that's what we did. And so far once this year, one of our episodes this year, we'll give them a little sneak peek, was a place that I visited 22 years ago as a kid with my grandfather and my father. And
wow. That's awesome.
pretty cool experience to go back to the same resort. Not planned that way. It just that's the way it happened. And it makes a guy realize we went to a lake last year where Aaron's grandparents grew up, and we're like one of 5 or 6 cabins on this whole lake. And one used to be his grandparents' cabin. How crazy is that? I want to
awesome.
kind of chase some of those memories.
You walk on the lake right next to that cabin.
Nuts.
And it blew my mind. I actually, I should try and find photos, but
every piece of me wanted your grandparents to still live on there when we were walking out there, because like the people that lived on this lake,
away, but
the people that lived on this lake could use like motorized vehicles and stuff, but anybody coming in had to walk.
Oh, okay.
So they were grandfathered in. So if his grandparents would have been there, we could just like.
And the crazy thing is, they offered they offered for my parents to buy it. I don't know however many years ago, but. In my house, I have 5 or 6 mounts in my house, and one of them is a bass from Crooked Lake, and that's one of the first mounts I ever got. I thought it was big. It's not big. Thought it was big, and it's one of my first mounts ever. And now to think 20 some years ago or whatever, it was actually it's right around the same exact amount of years for you as it was for me.
That's crazy.
From between lakes and different seasons, so.
I would love to get episodes like that, like go back to like some of our staff's childhood memories and chase them. It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, if only they could be there. And you're going to try to find footage or photos from that trip for the episode.
I think I got it on lockdown, to be honest with you.
So we're going to try to incorporate old footage or old photos from 20-some years ago into the episode.
My uncle always used to bring the VHS tape that you loaded like an actual VHS tape into it. We got those. We got it on lockdown.
Sweet.
Awesome. I know I have photos from the lake that I went to, but
Oh, I've got a
yeah,
great
it's
idea
crazy.
to do for mine. I spent most of my childhood in the dark house, spearing.
Ooh.
Think about that.
We have not done a spearing episode.
Yeah, I have access to spear houses and all that stuff back home.
Got to figure out
Good
what's,
buddy.
you know, we got to keep it as entertaining as we can, so we have to have a twist to it to make it
Absolutely.
fun, but
spearing
it can
is
be done.
much like deer hunting. You just kind of sit there and listen to the radio, tell some stories.
The crazy thing is there's
Yeah.
so many possibilities for an episode. I mean, we have people that contact us, oh, you should go here, you should go do, you should go do this. It's like whatever, you know, pathway it leads to, but we're up for anything. We're up for whatever it takes, and
The story is half the fun of filming these things. Like, what's the story? And
Absolutely.
a lot of times we don't go in to say, hey, we're going to do this. In fact, we never do that. We let the story kind of happen for the most part,
yeah, because
which is cool because when it all comes together and it just happens, you're out there having fun and the story just happens. I mean, you don't even know how to explain it, but at the end you're like, this is how this episode's going to do. Like, you and I sit there the whole travel home, we're like, this is how this episode's got to go down.
Well, we've definitely, with like most TV shows out there, there's a storyline.
Right.
It's all written up storyboards. Well, you can't really do that in the fishing industry, but it has been done multiple times. I will say that. But when we go out there, we're sitting there and, yeah, on the way to a location, we're like, all right, so how is this going to go down? What's the storyline? And to try to gather ideas of the pathway. And I do remember was it the walk-in, not the walk-in Michigan, but the walk-in Grand Rapids.
Oh,
Or no,
right.
or was it the walk-in Michigan? There was one of those two where we were like, all right, this is all going to be about, oh, no, it was walk-in Grand Rapids. We're going big bluegills, big crappies. There ended up being only a couple
2,
big
3
bluegills.
big ones.
So we decided
Oh,
to
that was
halfway.
Wisconsin.
No,
Nope, that was Grand Rapids.
Grand
We
Rapids.
went
Oh,
in
was
there.
it?
with Hayne Loose Boys.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
went in there with the intentions of catching big crappies, and I mean that's just what it is. You roll with it, and then we ended up not catching a ton of big ones,
But a
we
lot.
caught hundreds and hundreds of fish. It
So
was
we,
unreal.
me and him, halfway through the day as we were filming, we're like, we need to figure out a plot to this thing in a sense, not
And-
a physical.
But then again, it all came
help with the
together because
storyline.
the hang loose guys, we've used them as examples before, and it didn't matter if it was that big or 10 inches or if it was 14 inches. They
Well,
were like doing somersaults on the ice. It
we
was
ended
just
up-
awesome. Why not make that the storyline?
we ended
right?
up turning it into the storyline of the fact that it was a backwoods style lake that you can enjoy with the camaraderie of your friends instead of going in there and be like, this is gonna be big bluegills. We did the same thing. The Michigan trip was the same thing.
It
'cause
was
we
pretty
went-
much the same. We went for big 10+ inch bluegills,
And
and
it
not that
wasn't
we
there.
didn't catch any, we just didn't catch a lot, and that's what it's about. I mean, every time you try to plan something, it doesn't work out that way.
Right.
But I mean,
Much like
So-
in real fishing.
so for everybody that we get weird comments on our stuff all the time. So I just want to tell everybody, for everybody that's out there that hates on a guy because you're out there, you're just catching big fish. No, that's not what it's about. We're about the camaraderie part of it, and
We're
that's
about
first
having-
and foremost on
we're
our
we're
show.
telling the story of real fishing.
Real
we're-
fishing.
Me and you could make a plan right now to go put a boat in the lake and say we're going to do this and do that, and it's not going to be that way.
We're honestly, our show's all about having fun because that's how fishing should be. And it's all about camaraderie with your friends and having fun. So that Michigan walk-in trip, we went in intention of big secret bluegills, big bluegills, which we did catch some, but we caught a lot of assortment.
Yep.
So I remember looking at you. I legitimately remember exactly where you were kneeling down jigging. And I was like, I had my camera on my side, and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, all right, this is going to be about friends.
And I looked
Friends
right at
on
you
the
and said
ice.
it to you, and you're like, that's exactly what I
that's
was
it.
thinking.
Friends on the ice, and that's what it was. It's about taking the friends and bringing it out on the ice.
So as I was up here, obviously I've listened to all your guys' podcasts. You guys are giving things away. I was like, what could we give away to these guys that would be really cool as a Fish Addiction / Broken Line? Well,
I was thinking the same thing.
you guys, how cool would it be to give away a $50 gift card to our store?
Ooh.
Ooh.
50
So-
bucks.
Let's message us Fish Addictions 50. There you go. So if you message Fish Addictions 50, you can get in a drawing for the $50 gift card. And this is a $50 gift card that works at our store
On our store.
on our fishaddictions.com, and you can then pick out $50 worth of stuff, and you can use that code.
We got some pretty neat stuff on
Like
there.
that hat that you're wearing or that sweatshirt
Sharp.
that you're wearing.
Doesn't come with these man boobs, but other than that.
So yeah, that's pretty much a sneak peek talk, I think, with you. Do we want to grab?
So this is what I think. I mean, we got a couple of staff members in here that have been on shows, that even one that just walked in that's never been on a show.
But he's
so
been
I
on
would,
a podcast.
But I
already.
would love to hear his perspective of
Absolutely.
what he thinks of this show. So I'm going to step out, give these characters a chance to talk about their experience on Fish Addictions, because I know those guys have got a few things that, all these guys are excited. We're excited for season 3. I mean, this is
We're all
season
excited about
2
season
on Fox FSN, but season 3 in our hearts
Right.
for sure. And
Absolutely.
actually, going back to it, we talked about this last time I was on. Technically, it's season 4.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you have the old style, 2015, no, 2014, 2015, right?
Yeah, whatever it was.
So on YouTube,
Ninja style.
we have
remember?
the old ninja styled ones, which
Mhm.
was Mike and Josh filming themselves making YouTube content. Then we have season 1 of Fish Addictions TV, which was 13 episodes.
13, yeah.
13 episodes where we fly and trip in, Canada. We went all over the place. Northwest Angle. Then season 2, which was just this past season. And that was is 13 episodes, but technically 14 because there was one bonus one online, and that was
Yes.
the HHH Hunters Helping Heroes episode. Now this year, season 3, technically season 2 online or on TV, but season 3 we have 17 episodes. So if you want to binge watch fishing because it's almost fishing season, go online. There's
A really cool thing is we have 17 episodes, and we totally thought we were going to get 5 open water episodes filmed this year. Just so you guys know, we got 3. So that means that
well at the end of the
next
Nice.
season.
spring we get 2 extra episodes to film.
Ooh.
It's going to be fun. Open water spring stuff.
Open water. We'll be down in Florida because there still might be ice.
Let's
But
go chase marlin.
yeah. No, we're actually gonna fly to Ireland or something, do something crazy. Yep. All right, it's already planned.
Italy.
Yep.
Wells catfish.
All right. Well,
All right,
let's
so
keep
we
moving
have
on.
Taylor, who he's
How do we do the transition here? Is it hand clap?
no
Applause comes on now. For Mike's done. Next guy
no
comes on.
hand clap. It's just a consistent roll right in. So you're gonna talk into the side.
Yep.
Put it all up to your face if you want. So Taylor
pretty boy of Fish Addiction.
is the
Yeah,
pretty
he's the
boy of Fish
stylish
Addiction.
one of the group.
That's me.
I know. I roomed with him.
I know.
That was a good time.
So you last year made it on how many episodes?
I believe I was there for two
Two
or
episodes.
three, maybe. It was the Upper Red Lake and then
Episode 1
the Rainy.
and
I think it
episode
was 2.
13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No more in between. So you, just a quick question: how excited are you for season 3, and are you going to be in more episodes?
Yes, this year I plan on making a few more episodes. Last season, my guiding took up a little bit of time over in Devil's Lake, but this year I plan on making a few more episodes. Pretty excited about it. Excited to be on the Epi here with you guys. This is
That's
a pretty
awesome.
cool deal you got
The
going
Epi.
on. Yeah. Oh yeah, I do have a baby coming too, but
Yeah.
we can put that on the back burner. We can just fish, right?
So, so here's the last ice season, I had a kid, and Mike looked at me and he said, "You're having one right in the middle of ice season," and I was like, "Oh, oops," like okay. And then
Sorry, I didn't look at my calendar.
No, yeah, sorry. And then now you're having one. When's yours born?
It's gonna be born December 1st or December 2nd, hopefully.
So you're trying to
Oh,
pick like
so, like, right
beginning
around
of
the
ice
corner
season.
All right. I tried to pick the beginning of ice season, but it looks
That
like
was
the
smart.
ice is coming a little too soon.
And Mike, which darn it, he got off the camera before we or the mic before we brought it, but he's also having a kid. But guess when he's having his kid?
In spring.
The middle of ice season.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Right in the middle of ice season. So now he can't give me crap because he's doing the same thing a year later. So we got a few Fish Addictions babies which is awesome. But what was your favorite memory about last year out of those 2 episodes that you went on? And then after that question, what the one trip that you wanted to go on that you didn't get to go on?
First off, I think the excitement for me is right away. Going on that first episode was really exciting. Finally getting all your gear out for the season, start the new season, get out, fish with everybody, guys that you haven't fished with, guys that you want to fish with.
Even though it was negative 45?
Yeah, it was. I mean, you just deal with it. That's ice fishing. Things happen. It's never, like you guys talked about, the planning thing. Sometimes it's just, there's intangibles that go with everything. You don't know what's going to happen. You just got to run with it as you go.
Right.
So, yeah, it was, I'd say exciting was getting on that first episode this season. I'd like to get on the first episode again. And then one I would have liked to go on would have been probably that Upper Peninsula one. I got kind of a love-hate relationship with perch out in Devil's Lake.
Yep.
And looks like there's some big gals that they catch out there. So
Yeah, that's one that I really wanted to go on, but just I couldn't make it. And boy, I'd like to get back up there.
I think there was quite a few people that wanted to be on that trip, to
Yeah.
be
And
honest.
I've never fished Devils either, so
Oh, dude, you got to
Hint.
come out.
That was the one he wanted to go on, and he almost did, and
But-
he didn't.
I've already talked to Troy Peterson about the white bass thing, and I know you guys got white bass out there, so can you guide me on some of those?
They're a little bit of a challenge. I mean,
That's
they're
what I like.
they're
But I'm
out
the weird
deep.
guy of the group, so
They're deep. So I mean,
Alright.
it's kind of a hit miss thing, which kind of like perch is too. But the white bass are definitely there. They're more sort of on the west side of the lake, in the middle of ice season.
that would
so-
be cool.
It's definitely possible. You can get into them pretty good.
Yeah. I'm all about that weird stuff.
Besides having a kid on the way, what's your preparation getting into as you look out the window, you see ice starting to form? What do you go through for prep for ice season? Early ice season, because like you said, you're excited for early ice season. So what
Right.
do you go through?
Right away was just putting shacks together. That's a lot of fun. I mean, people don't like to do it, but I kind of enjoy it a little bit. Take my time doing it, listening to the radio, getting excited, getting ready for ice. Usually, you're waiting around building houses, waiting for ice. But this year, it looks like it's coming quick. The other thing is all these ice shows that are coming up. We're going to be heading down to Sioux Falls this weekend and working the Dakota Ice Institute show. I'm looking forward to that. That's kind of back in my area, the Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Marshall, Minnesota, Southwest Minnesota area. That's where I grew up fishing. All the boys back home that fish the cow ponds around Marshall, Minnesota can come over and,
Cool. I've never been
Good
out to
chat.
that show. Is it pretty good size?
this will be my first time being there.
Okay.
So
All right. I'll have to-
I'm super excited.
that would
Is
be
that
cool.
is there any other shows you're going to this year?
I wanted to make the St. Paul show, but that's when the baby's coming. So,
Exactly like when the baby's coming.
yeah.
What, Mike? How many? Where will we all be this season for show season time?
This year will be St. Paul Ice Show, the Ice Institute, Cables in Cedar Lake, Iowa. The Blaine Show. There's going to be Shields Ice Fest
Milwaukee.
in Fargo, Milwaukee Ice Show. I'll actually be doing seminars at Milwaukee.
Duluth.
Duluth will have a presence there for Fish Addictions. I mean, if there's an ice show, we're going to be there, no doubt.
So if I think the biggest thing in most cases is at this time of year when you're looking at ice or not looking at ice and you're waiting, just go to a show, find out more information, learn from different people, teach different people. I think going to a show is, well, to us it's an everyday it's this time of year, but I think it's good for most average fishermen to get out there and enjoy the shows.
Well,
for
you
sure.
see a ton of guys, commenting on social media, asking about products, but the biggest thing is going to the shows and just having it in your hands, being able to touch it, look at it, get a feel for it, ask guys about it that have maybe tested it last year or looked at it.
Oh, absolutely.
You get those opinions, those first-hand opinions from guys that have used it.
And the
So,
guys working in the booths love to talk fishing. There's no withheld secrets.
Right.
You can learn a lot just from a 5 to 6, 7 minute BS session.
Exactly. That's what those shows are for, is to talk with those guys and interact and
Yep.
learn,
Absolutely.
Ask them your famous Star Wars. We gotta figure out this.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Nice.
I don't know if I've watched Star Trek.
Rebel or Empire?
Definitely Empire.
Man, that's a win. Okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
That's
That's an ongoing thing.
I haven't gotten into the new ones though. I mean, the old ones
The
I've
old
watched
Star Wars.
those, and then episode 1 through 3. But
And you ditch 1 through 3.
yeah,
Those are garbage. But the new ones are good.
ditch 1 through 3.
but I was young when they came out. Like the first one was
Right.
Very
Well,
cool.
yeah. See, I'm the oldest one of the group.
like Darth Maul. That was cool
Yeah.
to me when I was younger.
Yeah. I don't know. I saw the originals in the theater. I was that,
He was dressed up in line, you know,
Well, I
the
was-
cape and suit and
I
everything.
was 4.
He's like,
No way.
Yeah. I was 4.
4.
We're done with Star Wars.
Done with Star Wars.
I can't talk about it because it's coming out next month.
Do you have one more question to ask him before Brian comes?
Boy, I don't know. You definitely need to come on more episodes.
But so do
And
you.
I know.
So.
Yep, and it's all mapped out.
Both of you guys need to come on more episodes.
Would you come over for eel pout?
Oh, definitely.
Have you ever
That's-
caught
that's-
one?
I have caught eel pout. They actually kind of scare me a little bit. Mike could elaborate on that. But
Was there screaming involved?
Basically.
yeah, pretty much. I don't know what it is about them. They just kind of look out of this world. They're a little bit
Right.
alienish.
No, those Lake of the Woods pout.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
More brown, more mud. You know, not the
Kinda
see
look
the ones
like a
you guys
turd.
catch here, and those
They
are
kind of look like a turd.
that's a beautiful
Yeah,
looking
they're
fish.
scary.
One of
Yeah,
the
here they're pretty.
I actually would love to do eel pout this year during the day.
Yeah, we can make that happen.
We've done one podcast with Tim, and he guides for them, and he does it for 1 week. He does it in the daytime,
It's a
and he
small
says it can be
window.
done.
Really.
Small window, but have you seen any daytime TV
No.
shows do eel pout? So that's on my mission for sure. And there's a few things I want to do. Trout this year. I've been saying that for 2 years. I want to do trout, but you know, it'd be cool to do salmon. It'd be cool to do
Rock bass.
rock bass. Yeah, he wants to do a rock bass.
A lot of good ideas there.
Largemouth.
There's-
Lot of species.
There's a
Lar-
lot of species. to hit, but
Largies through the ice, spearing. Yeah.
Spearing would be a big one too. You know, Devil's Lake is really big for spearing.
I
Is
want to
it?
do sturgeon ice fishing,
Sturgeon ice fishing.
Yep.
and our guys
Rainy
That
Yep.
guy right there.
somewhere up there. Okay.
U.S. side, nighttime.
We should probably. Well, he's been standing here for a while. He knows Taylor's name now. Should get a handshake in there anyway.
Yeah, right. Okay, so let's jump to Brian real quick,
Ooh.
and we can chat with him for a couple minutes. And
The
Um,
cons man of the group.
we're not gonna take Andrew Kraft because he has a whole podcast to himself at some point.
Let's see if I can fall off this
We
chair.
still love you,
So
Andrew.
get right in there.
Sorry,
and-
you guys might not recognize me with all this face hair.
What face hair? All that
can
stuff
see
you
it.
just glued on?
Look in the light. It's there.
Oh,
Oh,
turn to the side.
This is my deer hunting face.
Wow.
It's real nice.
Scary.
So same question to you. What are you excited about for going into season 3? Last year you hit 8 episodes?
I believe it was
8 out of 13 or something like that, which is a crap ton. It's like, do you have a job?
I really didn't.
So there you go.
I really didn't. Fishing was my life this winter. No, I'm really looking forward to this upcoming season. Like Aaron said, I was able to go with on a lot of the episodes and got to check off a lot of lakes on my bucket list, and it was a blast.
Yeah, you hit like some shoots that, like you hit a couple good ones.
Yeah, really
Actually.
good ones. Yeah.
And exotic weird ones too, like in
Mhm.
Wisconsin. I don't know. That's my biggest thing with as many staff members as we have is like it's open invite
Mm-hmm.
to all the staff members. Come on as many trips as you want. Of course, everyone's got work and jobs, but it's just fun as a family to get together because everyone is part of the family. You know, just get together and I don't know, enjoy fishing together, and let's just make a TV show at the same time. You know.
Yeah, man, we had a great time with it.
Hold on. When out of those 8 episodes, which one was your favorite?
Ooh. Favorite. Well, I really enjoyed Lake Winnebago, except for almost losing my feet because we were dealing with 8 inches
So-
of water.
What did you
Oh.
end up buying?
I bought Baffins.
Baffins. All right, just
Yeah,
making
that
sure.
was, my feet doubled in size.
That reminds me of when we went to Gogebic and we had Garrett with.
Mm-hmm.
He had camo hunting boots,
Yep.
and Gogebic was this much water, a foot and a half of water, and the first step instantly. So he brought like garbage bags
Yep.
and tied them around his thing. Did you do that too?
I did that actually out on Gogebic, because we hit up Gogebic.
Yeah, we hit up
go
Gogebic
to-
after. Yep.
Yeah, that preservation one. And
Yeah, you need the baffins, man.
Yeah.
That's just
They're
it.
like-
You also
changer.
need an ice suit when you go fishing. Ice
Yeah.
fishing. Right, Mike?
you don't need the jacket.
Oh, that's a backstory. We'll save that one.
Well, he doesn't wear a jacket when he ice fish, so
At least
no.
I bring my bibs.
This is true. So what do you what is your prep for season 3 getting into ice fishing? What do you prep going into an ice fishing season?
My prep is basically done. I got all of my rods ready probably a month and a half ago.
Oof.
It's when I find time, I just do it. I'm excited right away. So all my rods are ready,
So you're one of those people that are actually prepared.
yeah, more or less.
I don't know who we talked to. We had someone on here where they
It was Matt.
was it Matt, where he's like, yeah, it's good to go out and you're about to meet your friend at 5 a.m. and you call him and you're about to go out there and he's like, I'm not quite ready. I'm
Yeah,
still finding my fishing gear. Mike's like,
Yeah.
I prepared this a year ago.
Yeah, when he puts
When
his
he
stuff
puts it
away, he puts it away ready to go for next year.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of a good way to do it.
Yeah.
No, I usually go through my stuff at the end of the season and change the line over so I don't have to do it
Yeah.
right before the season, because you never know when that first ice is going to hit.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get a rough guesstimate, but
Look over the shack too.
Yeah.
Repair anything that needs
Yep.
to be repaired there. That's always a good idea.
Are you going to any shows during show season?
yes, I will be doing a show at Cabela's in East Grand Forks for 13, and then I will be at the Thorn Brothers booth all 3 days of St. Paul Ice
St.
Show
Paul.
for 13 as well.
So there's, with the 2 or 3 people that we've had on here just in this podcast, there's multiple avenues for people to get in contact with someone like you or someone like Mike or Taylor or any of our other Fish
Absolutely.
Addiction staff that's out there. If you need help with anything, we're obviously clearly covering a lot of shows, and we're here to help. And we'll be at Eskimo, Striker 13. We'll be at different booths. So if you have any questions, definitely hit us up on Facebook for us to help you in any direction on where we'll be and when we'll be, for sure. What's one place you want to go this year? If Fish Addictions TV could go to a place and you could come with, where would it be? Mako Sharks down in...
Yeah,
No, okay, no.
Sharks scare me. No, that's too many teeth.
You can't lip those. Although I try.
You did lip a walleye, so
This
Yeah.
is true. What would be
Um,
the one spot?
I really don't care where we go. I would love to catch a Laker through the ice.
That's on my list for an episode for...
I've heard once you do that,
Yeah.
like no other fish matters.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like musky fishing, from what I gather.
Yeah, but I still fish everything.
I know one of the episodes we want to go to is Erie, right?
That
If
was
it
a
freezes
blast.
over. No, ice fishing, though.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
And the winter's kind of showing us that it maybe wants to do that,
Mhm.
but we're not 100% sure. Do you have any questions for him?
Star Trek or Star Wars.
Oh, God.
You guys are gonna be mad at me.
Oh, God, Star Trek. Just leave.
This is our first one. Hold on.
No. I have never seen either of them.
Get out. Get out,
right.
please.
No,
No.
That's not hate.
No, get
no,
out.
No, this
just
is like
kidding. I
this
don't
is like
care
a
much either
fresh
about it.
block of clay. We can mold them. We're just gonna. I'll
Yeah.
bring the DVDs, and when we're hunkered down in a hotel room, it's go time. Don't worry about it.
There's
You
a
don't
lot
need
of
to
them
see Star
watch.
Trek.
If you
Yes,
can
we'll
see
just
the
show you
look on
that.
my face, I'm very excited for that.
Jeez.
Wow.
Mike, do you want to jump in to close it? So, yeah, so let's go all the way back to the beginning. We're pretty excited to just be able to be a part of, Fish Addictions TV in a sense, but we already were, but bring it back to the podcast area. We also got Striker, Eskimo, and 13. So those, it's just going to be cool to be able to kind of have them as a a backer of what we're doing, and that shows me, that this is somewhat going in the right direction if there is backing of any sort from any company.
I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, you guys are putting out quality show, and the reality of it is you got to have that backing to do it, and these guys believe in what we're all doing and the way we're going about it, and that's what it's all about.
Between behalf of Aaron and myself, what an opportunity, and I'm really, really thankful for it.
We're excited because, we started this in a way for us to just vent, bar banter,
Well, that's how it kind of started.
Yeah.
Down at the OP.
Still
Aaron, I've
starting
been
off.
wanting to do a podcast for 2 years. Oh, yeah, tell me about it.
Let's do it.
And then he looks at me after half an hour and goes, we're starting a podcast in 3 to 4 days. This stuff is here. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Amazon Prime, baby. So yeah, we just bar banter, bait shop type talk. We wanted to just do news, fishing, hunting, break the line, just random stuff, and just be able to give an avenue of stuff that really isn't out there. There is the Shack Talk, which is by Eskimo with a couple good guys on the Eskimo staff, and there is
The live well.
Yeah, the live well. I always forget, so I always have to look over at him for that. The live well. So there is other avenues, and it's great to be able to just have, if it's not us, it's other people too, being able to just provide content in another way. I did not like podcasting like months ago, and I was like, man, you have to sit down and listen or watch. Mostly it's listening. And then I got into it when I felt like Meat Eater and like other different podcasts, and I was like, well, when am I going to find time? And then like people at work or driving is great. So like when we're going down to Eskimo Pro Day actually, and we just clicked up 1 or 2 podcasts, and it was just cool to listen because it's great to listen to music, but at the same time you're listening to information. And it's
stories,
cool.
information.
And just listening to like other people's stories, like your stories and stuff, is awesome.
I was the same way. I mean, basically, when you guys started the podcast thing, I think I'd maybe listened to 1 or 2 before that, and not really something I got into. It was just random stuff. But I remember Patrick saying, I challenge you to just sit down and listen to it. Just sit down and do it. And I turned it on in the car, and I have not missed an episode. In fact, I do listen to other podcasts now, and it's kind of one of those things where you find, you just find something that interests you, and you just sit there and you listen. Before you know it, it's an hour and a half. And I remember giving you guys guff when you first started. You're like, Jesus, your podcast for like an hour and a half,
Yeah,
and it's
cut
like,
this down to 30 minutes.
Yeah, like cut it down or something. And then it's like that first time I was on, I was just like, hey, how long have we been doing this? And you look over, and it's like over an hour, and you're
20
like,
minutes, yeah.
Wow, that felt like 10 minutes because you're having fun, and that's what this is all about. And what I think is cool, listening to you guys, how you started this, that's kind of how Fish Addiction started. I mean, it was wanting to get a message out, wanting to have fun, wanting to kind of turn the tables a little bit, wanting to get something different out there. And no, we didn't start with the TV show. We started with the forum and kind of ran it just a little different way. And now here we are. Good things happen to people that get out there and make things happen.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah.
Exactly. It's crazy. We're having fun. We're not even 20 episodes in, and we have plans of a direction, and we've tried to lay out the plans and the direction, and we still don't quite know where we're going because
the main thing that the whole reason I wanted to start one of these was to interject some personality into fishing. Like when we have a guest, talk about their stuff, but I want to get the listeners to know who this person is. You know what I mean? Besides, they're a guide, or they're a hunting guide, or this or that. Like, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, think about it a little bit. We're the guys out there telling people why they should use a product, or giving people examples, or just promoting these products. And if somebody sits down and listens to these podcasts, and they've seen the Jason Rylanders and the Matt Brewers and myself on here, and get kind of a personal perspective of what kind of guys we are, I mean, I think that helps. I think that helps ourselves. I think that helps the brands we represent because,
Exactly.
you know, we're just good people that are, you know, every one of us, you know, is representing brands that we truly do believe in.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, in my case, I remember when I came on with Eskimo, and Eskimo looked at me and said, look, we get it. We've got some of the best pop-up shelters there are, but we're struggling on our flip over houses. And from day one, they were working on that, and I'm excited because show season's coming, and we get to brag about the new Grizzly, and we get to brag about these rocket augers, and that's exciting, and that's something we put our personal touch on, and it just, you know, people can see a different view from what social media has given us. Yes, we're out there telling people we like things and they should do this, but if you've watch the show or listen to this podcast with one of the guests you guys have on, or you kind of get a whole different view, and actually, you know, I think it adds a lot of validation to what we say.
Right.
We have right now we have plans to have as many guests as we can on, because everyone has a different story in the outdoor industry, and they all believe in something else, and it's just cool to hear the stories in that aspect. And it's exactly right. It goes right with Fish Addictions. Is like, you're here to learn, you're here to teach, you're here to have fun, and most importantly, you're here to have fun. And for us, the camaraderie, the goofing around, this is what the fishing industry needs, and that's why we present that in the Fish Addictions. And I don't know, I think it's awesome just to have everyone on board, and it's good to get staff members in here and other people and just have fun.
Breaking the mold, man. I mean, just like you guys are breaking the line, we're trying to break the mold. I mean, one of my, you know, things that I want to accomplish this year is, and we talked about it for the last 2 years, is we want to get an episode with every company represented in our show.
And we've talked about,
and we're going to do it. We're going to get it done, and we're going to get it done because the determination, and there's a lot of people we've talked about getting it going, and it's not going to be about a location. It's going to be about the camaraderie that we can have, and I think that's a big misconception in the ice fishing world nowadays is you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this, and that's not what it's about. And that's, you know, yes, we have our sponsors.
Right.
I mean, that's a given, but that our sponsors also know that it's a good thing to break the line.
Well, and to showcase the brotherhood or the family.
All of us have a common goal. All of us have a common goal.
We've talked about that after like the St. Paul Ice Show when the public leaves. All of us come out of our booths and we all meet in the middle and we're all shaking hands and trying to decide where we're going to go have a few beers and some burgers, and because the sweatshirts and the hats don't matter. We're all the same.
I do want to do that episode though where you have two, all about colors, right? 2 reds, 2 blues, 2 grays. You know, you just mash everyone together, because if it's not for the color, it's all about us just having fun. And I know if you're catching fish and we're all trying to be in a TV show and have a good time, it's going to be great content because people are going to be smiling, laughing, hugging, high five. And we did it, right? We did a couple clam people last year, and there were high fives, there were hugs. It was good.
Lifelong friends.
Lifelong friends. Absolutely. What do you think? What was the episode again? 14.5?
14.5. I had just one question, Aaron.
Yep.
Are we going to be doing this in the St. Paul out of a hotel room?
Well, you weren't sure if you were coming.
Well, I'm going to come down there.
Oh.
I'll have Ellen with me. I'll pick her up this weekend, but
I'd like to bring all this and like
we'll
late
figure
at
it out.
night or something. We get
Grabbing
one or 2
people off the
And
floor.
for those of you that haven't been to the St. Paul Ice Show, you don't know what you're missing. If you like ice fishing at all, everything, anything, everybody is at the ice show. If you have a favorite guy that you watch or follow on social media or something, he's going to be there. And like I heard you say earlier when I was standing off to the side, is we're there to talk fishing. We love to talk fishing. I mean, we are awkward people standing there in silence until you ask us a fishing question, and then we get to answer it. I mean, that's what we're there for.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, we're in our sponsor booths and that kind of stuff, but we don't have to talk that. We just want to talk fishing. We just want to shake hands and talk about the things that we love. And all of us that are there are itching to be somewhere else.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we all want to be out ice fishing, whether we can be on the ice or there's this not safe ice yet. This year it's going to be really tough because I'm guessing we're going to have a lot of safe ice by that point.
I was just going to ask you that. Usually, history shows us that if there's walkable ice during that ice show, There's a lot of guys that are just out there fishing.
I recommend let's keep one day of not ice fishing and
Come
come
down.
and
Yeah.
meet the people, talk fishing, figure out new plans, see new
And
gear.
Fish Addictions is going to do something cool this year at the ice show.
Oh, yep, we're giving some stuff away.
We have like 300 T-shirts to give away. First come, first serve. We are not going to stop you in the aisles. You need to stop us and ask us. And this is the only place that we've announced this so far. We have fishaddictions.com T-shirts, grays and blacks, random sizes. First come, first serve, one per person. You know, we're not going to give. Please don't come with 10 people in your family because we can't do that. We want to give out to as many people as possible. But it's a kind of a cool way to say thank you for being a fan of Fish Addictions. We're also going to have a few of the brand new hats to give away. I think I got like 50 of them. So it's going to be one or the other type thing. But we just want to show appreciation to the people that watch the show, the people that come out to say hi and talk ice fishing. And we will be in the Eskimo booth.
Right
with
next
our
to the snowmobile?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be there.
It'll
I
be
think the snowmobile is going to be in the Eskimo booth this year, but we have a part of the Eskimo booth dedicated to Fish Addictions, and
Sweet.
we will be there. I think we've got 14 staff members, and I think 10 of them are going to be working the show.
Yep.
So in some way, shape, or form, we're going to be down there. You run into one of the guys, talk to them. If you're like, hey, where are the T-shirts at? Have them walk you over. We'll get you a T-shirt. I mean, wear it proud. That's what it's there for.
Do you have who's going to be standing at for the Fish Addictions with me? Or we don't know that yet.
Yeah, I kind of have to obligations to kind of be all over the show. So
Yeah.
I'm there most of the time. I mean, you're probably going to catch me, but
Last year you were like always within 10 feet in a
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
you
the
did-
most part,
you
we
did
were
move around a
around.
little bit more, but
so I mean, we don't know who's all going to be in the booth yet. We just finalized our backdrops, and it's getting real, and ice is happening, and sleep
less
is
than a
being
month away.
sleep is being lost because it's show season and ice is forming, and ice houses need to be put together, and trailers need to be ready to go, and what do you call that? Boogie bags or bug out bags are being packed because we just don't know when and where, and dogs are extra dog food's being put in the garage for the wife to feed the dogs when I'm gone, so I don't
Well,
get that
it-
random phone call. Do we have dog food?
it could be like during show season or whatever anytime soon. It could be, hey, Manitoba, this ice, great fishing, it's open, let's go, and we leave tomorrow.
Oh, it's not. I mean, we're gonna make the phone call, and I would guess we have. Well, this coming weekend we'll be in South Dakota and Iowa. After that will be Blaine Ice Show. I'll be up there Friday, I think is it. Just one day. Got some other stuff going on the other days. St. Paul Ice Show. I would not doubt that we have one done before the St. Paul Ice Show. Maybe. Like I said, we're not going to go out and chance it.
It would be nice to get it if
It
the
would
ice
be
is right.
awesome. I mean, maybe
Because you
on the
remember last
way.
year we weren't
What
2
a
weeks
cool
after.
story would that be? Like, we're on our way to the St. Paul Ice Show, and we're stopping off for a big bluegill bite.
Absolutely. You remember last year we were at the St. Paul Ice Show, and it wasn't more than 2 weeks later we were on Red Lake.
Yeah.
So think of if we could be 3 weeks ahead, 4 weeks ahead. That would be cool.
Well, that's pretty crazy.
And it could happen.
I mean,
could
it's we're gonna get crazy. It's gonna go. I mean, I'm hugging the wife and telling her I love her one more time a day just to make sure I get a few extra ones in.
I feel like, remember I gave you 2 extra hugs today, so I'm
Yeah.
going tomorrow.
I think I'm up like 5 or 6 days now, dear. I've got a few sick days in there too. It's super exciting. Show season is exciting. I mean, I make it sound like we don't want to be there, and it's not that we don't want
I
to
didn't
be
get
there.
that.
We're super anxious about getting on the ice, but I mean, everybody that comes out and sees what's going on in ice fishing, it gets a guy more excited. I mean, you can't walk into the St. Paul Ice Show and expect to see it all in 2 hours.
No.
You've got to work your way through the crowd. You've got to stop and look at every booth because these companies have a lot of stuff that they've had for years, but most of these guys have something new there. You know?
He put it in a fact of it's like salmon going up. Was it salmon going up
Yeah.
up a thing? You just kind of wiggle in,
You just get in there.
wiggle
Get in
up,
the flow
and slowly wiggle up.
And please stop and say hi. I mean, that's what we're there for. We wanna have that personal interaction with people, and no matter if you're a fan of the show or not, just come say hi.
We have had multiple people email us at the Broken Line asking if we're going to be
Yeah.
at the booth, and all I keep saying is Eskimo, booth, Fish Addictions will be there. Come chat. Come say hi. Just come say hi. Come visit us. Come talk with us. Come get a free shirt. Come chat with us about last season or about
I got a
future
question for
episodes.
you, Patrick.
Yeah,
So what has got you excited to get your hands on there?
at the show.
Yeah.
Oh man, man, there's just so much.
Right?
Man, I don't know.
You've already got your hands on the Eskimo stuff, so that
Yeah. I
Yeah,
wanna-
but you
in a
could even
sense.
count that. I mean, man, that Grizzly
so-
house is unreal.
I know it is. I'm excited to get that Free Fall Ghost in my hand from 13. That looks like a cool. And the Descent.
The Descent.
Yep. I'm not a big fan of spinning reels through the ice, so I like that inline stuff. For me, I think the St. Paul show, I just get to see a lot of old friends.
Yeah.
A ton of them.
yeah.
And make new ones.
And make
I'm
new
in my
ones.
jersey, and I walk up to another person, another jersey, and it's like there's hugs being given, and it's like,
Awkward hugs.
yeah, it's just like here,
Awkward, I haven't
just
seen you
follow
for
me.
a
We're giving
year.
hugs over here.
What's with you and hugs? Let's wind this thing
Aaron's
up.
a
I'm
hugger.
starving.
Hugs, dude.
One day I woke up in a hotel room and he's just like arms out. He's like, "Give me a hug." I'm just like,
life
no,
should all
not
be
true,
about
but
life should all be
I've
about
imagined
hugs
that happening.
and love and just living life to the full extent. And
You
that's
should have lived in the
that's what I do.
70s or whatever.
Yeah.
What's up, hippie?
Hey.
Life should be about love.
Do you remember the ending we did last time?
On the last episode?
The last time you were here, we did an ending. Do you remember how it went?
You've been listening to the
No.
Broken Line?
No.
I don't know.
It was I'm Aaron,
I'm Mike.
and this. Oh, and then you go.
Patrick.
Yeah,
Okay.
And then this guy.
Dry
Yeah.
run, dry run.
Forget this. Dry run. All right, I'm Aaron.
What? I don't get to say what I'm excited about? For the
Mike,
St.
what are
Paul
you
Ice
excited
Show?
about?
Yeah, what are you
I feel
excited
kind
about?
of
For
left out.
Sorry.
Sorry,
I'm
we left
hungry.
you out.
You're hungry.
Yeah, we're all gonna
I'm
go get
Aaron.
food.
All right. The Hyper Rattle from Acme.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They added a rattle to it, didn't they?
Jigging baits are kind of become a big thing, and the profiles that these guys have come up with are awesome. I'm excited to see people's reactions to it since I've been able to fish with it for probably, 8-9 months. We've been able to fish it. We had it on the ice last year. We have it fished with it in open water. We used it in an episode already. Pretty awesome bait.
And we
Would you
caught
be willing to
fish.
say that there's some in that trailer down there?
No.
No.
There isn't much in that trailer.
Dang it.
Yeah, it's just
didn't
a
come-
30-foot trailer that
Just
is
haul around an
empty.
empty
Snowmobile and a
red trailer?
grizzly.
Uh-huh, okay.
Couple drills. All right. Episode 14.5, Fish Addictions Talk, couple extra guests. I'm Aaron,
I'm Mike.
I'm Patrick,
and this is
the Broken Line.
Thank you for listening to Broken Line Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.